Jesus smiling, oh so mesmerizing.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Duncan Showroom on our first Reconciliation Day in the world, in Canada anyway. It's going to change the world what happened today. Over 2,000 people showed up in the march today just from the VIU over to Solium, and they had a 4-hour show of talkers and people playing music and being part of the vibe. It was really quite nice to see. And one of the things I noticed is that there was not only a bunch of orange shirts, which we seem to be wearing, but there was a lot of kids, a lot of young children under 10, under 12, that were in the march. And to me, that kind of said, hey, there's that generation. They're going to be the ones. They're going to be the ones that are going to change it because now they know. Things that we used to suspect, now they know. That's very cool. So the world will change. It's all part of this new parameter, diameter, or whatever the heck it is.
Diameter?
Yeah. I make up situations. I just ramble just for the sake of it. You know that. Anyway, tonight we were very fortunate that Ben Suris was able to come in and do a live stream for us tonight. We have some of the audience too, which is very cool. But we're doing a live stream because this guy is someone that in all the years, I mean, his Canary song, when he does that, I still love it. When you do that, I don't
remember it.
Oh, that's good.
But
you know, what I'm saying is that he writes songs that they become little worms in your head because there's always that little sense of humor, that little sense of wit. Wit. He's got a wit about him. His name is Ben Suris. He's originally from, are you originally from Winnipeg?
I was born in Regina.
You were born, that explains it. But he ended up in Winnipeg, which I think.
My accent in Winnipeg.
Oh. Did I meet you in Winnipeg?
No, we met a blog.
Oh, right, we met a blog. Ben Suris got a hold of me and wanted to. Now, had you already introduced Pat Temple at North Country Fair?
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
Yeah.
Right. I was sitting up at North Country Fair. Pat Temple gets to go up there, and we're sitting out in the audience. It's getting late at night, and this guy plays and really loved what he was doing. And then all of a sudden he says, "Hey, Pat Temple's on after me over in that other place over there. You all better go see him because he's really, really good." And you really gave him such a big plug. Pat wouldn't stop. Pat still doesn't stop talking about it. We just, yeah, remember that little guy, Ben, who just said all those great things? Well, we got to meet, and when he first showed up here, I had 2 Volvos. One where the back door opened up, and the other one where it opened up, but it didn't stay up. And I'd gone to pick him up at the bus depot because he was coming up from Victoria, I think. But anyway, nonetheless, I picked him up, put him in the car, and we got over to Craig Street, well, it was just Jake's at the time where he was going to play. And he's got his guitar in the back, so I open up the back. And I've been switching cars and putting plates on the back. I forgot which one I had on the road. So he goes in to pick up his stuff, and I figured, well, I'll just go do something. And so I just left it there and walked away. And at that point in time, the back door, fell and hit him on the head. This is our first meeting, right? Within 10 minutes,
I still have ghost pains.
we're having assault and battery charges later. But anyway, he immediately responded to it and looked at me, and I looked at him, and he came after me with arms swelling. So I went like this, and he just sat there doing that. And we looked at each other, and we realized we still had a sense of humor about us, and that it really was quite funny, and that we were able to make a joke about it. And from that point, I really did start to like the guy even more. And, you know, every time he shows up, he's already made me feel like a low guy.
Like a what?
A low guy. I mean, you got that wit that just sort of puts me in my place. Now I know stuff I don't want to know about other Canadians. But anyway, he's a man about town. He now lives in Edmonton. And Edmonton's the lucky country and the lucky city for having him there. And I'm sure glad he's out doing some tour. And I think you're going to enjoy him. Ben Suris, you can look him up online. Check out all the things he does. Let those little worms get in there so you can walk away and saying, hey, I like this guy. His name's Ben Suris. He's got about an hour's worth of music, 45 to an hour. He's going to have some fun. Take it away, Mr. Ben Suris, my good friend, Ben Suris.
Thank you, John. I just want to acknowledge we are on the unceded territory of the Coetsin people. I hope my pronunciation is almost right. In case it's the end of the world, I'm gonna have a cinnamon bun. In case it's all over, I'm gonna have some fun. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm willing to give it a try. In case it's the end of everything and the end is nigh. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world. In case I get infected, I'm stocking up on food. I'm gonna try some different things that'll lift my mood. I'll eat food I normally wouldn't. No more eggs and bacon. I wonder what my sister stuck overseas will be making. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world and no one's allowed to touch, I'm gonna find a crash test dummy to hang out with and such. I'll feel less morose with my surrogate friend, learning all the latest dance moves, dance me to the end. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world, I'm gonna say what I think. And once I spill the beans, I might need a drink. 'Cause if it's not the end of the world and things get back on track, I'll have said some stuff I'm never taking back. In case it's the end of the world. In case it's the end of the world. Oh. Thank you. Thank you, June. That was called End of the World. That's from my new album that's coming out in January. The album starts with the end of the world and ends with a yard sale. This next song is called You're Not My Last Girlfriend Anymore. I'm trying to fix this hole with nails, boards, and glue. I have tools and I have time, not much else to do. Now the boat is sinking, almost drowned, and man, I'm sore. You're not my last girlfriend anymore. I am almost committed to growing something here. I could carve a little plot, it would be easy to clear. There's a risk I might be rescued and lose my garden on the shore. You're not my last girlfriend anymore. You're not my last girl. You're the one that I was hurt by and fell for, not the one who took the keys and slammed the door. So I'll keep the fires burning in case someone sees a smoke. I'll say I wish I'd built a shelter. I'll say that when I'm finally broke, Why are we always reaching for some kind of brighter shore? What we thought we had before. You're not my last girlfriend anymore. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I've been I do a lot of songwriting, and in the last couple of years, you know, the world has been different. So I've written a few songs related to what's been going on, and this song is called "This Is What It Sounds Like Singing with a Mask on Your Face." Thank you. Thank you. Just got to clear my lenses. All right. This next song is called Before We Had Sarah. I was having coffee with my friend, and we were sort of laughing about how he and his wife felt like they hadn't seen each other in 20 years because they were so busy with their kids. They had I have a bunch of daughters, and so I wrote this song for him, and I played it for him, and the chorus went, "Before we had Sarah, Veronica, and Mary," and he was like, "Ben, that's great, but there's also an Estelle." So I had to get her in too. It's nice to see you again. It's been a long, long while. What was our last conversation? I sort of remember your smile. And we really should catch up. There's so much that I miss. There are years of things I've been meaning to ask. Been making a mental list from before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Mary. I was yours and you were mine. I was yours and we had time. Before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and school days and outfits to choose, working lunches to make, permission slips for field trips. We went to church if we caught a break. Then Mary had cello and Grandma got sick, so put a bed in the living room. Oh, Sarah left for school in Montreal, and Estelle followed her pretty soon. From before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Mary. I was yours and you were mine. I was yours and we had time. Before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Mary. Was our last conversation? What was the last thing we did? Oh, lie in a field sharing hopes and dreams about someday having kids. Now Mary won't give us the time of day. Grandma finally passed away. We've run out of things to say, but Sarah has a baby on the way. Before Sarah, Veronica, Estelle and Mary. I was yours and you were mine. I was yours and we had time. Before we had Sarah, before we had Sarah, before we had Sarah, Veronica, Estelle, and Mary. Thank you. Thank you very much. This next song is called Boring People. I was walking down my street one day. Do you guys know what a Hummer is? It's like a tank Jeep truck. And it was a super hot day. And his Hummer was running, and he was standing on the street, and he's smoking a cigarette, talking to two women. And I walked past, and I said, "Does your car need to run?" And he said, "No, but you do." So I think that triggered this song. I was very impressed with how quick he came back with that. It's like he knew what was going to happen from a couple blocks away. Oh, that's one of those guys. Anyway, made me think about how I respond to stuff, and I wrote this. This is who I am, the body breaking, the troubled heart, the can't get finished, the can't go on, the can't start. Not the best moves or the brightest, or the dumbest either. Not satisfied with satisfied, not into bliss and ether. Who are you? Who am I? Is there a difference when we try? Is there really a payoff? Are there just more things to fix? Are we just boring people that do boring things for kicks? Who are you? Who am I? This is who I was, the blind ambition, the vocal cracks with no eyes to my peers, deaf to all obvious facts. Not the best moves or the brightest, but when you're young, you're dumb. How else can you make mistakes? I could have listened to my mom. Who are you? Who are we? Is there a difference when we flee? Is there really a payoff? Are there just more things to fix? Are we just boring people that do boring things for kicks? Who are you? Who are we? She doesn't know, doesn't care, or that's what she gives off. The people that act the hardest are very, very soft. To make the great reveal, to show the truest part, would be to admit to being human and that you have a heart. So it's riding in the truck and blaring the horn. It's F-bombs, hockey, and porn. It's the top of your lungs, singing Riders in the Storm. Who am I now? Who was I then? Is there a difference in the end? Is there really a payoff? Are there just more things to fix? Are we just boring people that do boring things for kicks? Who am I now? Who was I then? Thank you. Thank you. This next song is mostly about the library I went to when I was a little kid in Regina, where I was born. It's mostly about that library, but it's also a little bit about the women at the Edmonton Downtown Library. There are this cluster of older librarians that I'm sure are all former anarchists. Oh, the library ladies, back in my hometown, the drunkards and the bums, they did not bring 'em down, never in it for the money, or trying to have their day. The keepers of secrets, the job to give 'em away. I remember breakfast at the table my mom brought me on Saturdays to the ladies at the library. You were safe under their care, educated and set free. They loved art, open minds, and little pirates like me. My librarian wore perfume, hoop earrings, and thick eyelashes. I couldn't wait for Saturdays, story time in her funky glasses. I remember breakfast at the table my mom brought me on Saturdays to the ladies at the library. Now a library lady is sacred. To a kid this is no joke. Big old smiles, book read sexiness, and every word spoke. I really like the great brain. Come on over to this aisle. Why don't you read this one? Information with a smile. I remember breakfast at the table my mom brought me on Saturdays to the ladies at the library. My library ladies were from the 60s, excited about the world. Now they're old dope-smoking women whose eyes twinkle like the girls. They used to greet you from their desk, right by the front door. There's an electronic kiosk now, 2 security guards or more. I remember breakfast at the table my mom brought me on Saturdays to the ladies, the library. Those ladies have not been shelved, you just have to wait. They're somewhere at the back, a little harder to locate. But if you dress up like a pirate, you will receive a smile, be led to chests of treasure, aisle after aisle. I remember breakfast at the table my mom brought me on Saturdays to the ladies. On Saturdays to the ladies, on Saturdays to the ladies, the library. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's also from my new album, coming out in January, called The Story That Lived Here. Here's an older song. This is called High School Steps. I got to open for Ray Davis of the Kinks many years ago, and I was pretty happy about that. And so it got me thinking about the Kinks, and I remembered that my friends and I learned a lot of their songs when we used to sit on the Kingsway doors of Kelvin High School in Winnipeg. And so I realized they were a big part of my musical journey, and then I also realized that I think my first ever time on stage was back at the Grant Park Grade 9 Junior High School Air Band competition, where I lip-synced all the day and all the night. And it was the early 80s, and I had big hair and puffy pink pants with narrow ankles, and I looked a lot like Prince. You may not be able to tell now, but I was a shoo-in. Even had the little pencil-thin mustache coming in. Anyway, this is called High School Steps. Thanks for listening, June. I remember Ray Davis' song all the day and all the night. We learned that and some other ones. Lola gave us a fright. High school steps. My best friend played guitar, did his best to teach me we were gonna be rock stars. Made the 6 o'clock news once on local TV. High school steps. High school steps. High school steps. My girlfriend had thick red hair and purplish lips. She let me kiss her everywhere above the hips. High school steps. High school steps. High school steps. Left my girl for another, and my best friend moved on. Forgot the chords to Lola and all the other Ray Davis songs we learned on high school steps. High school steps. High school steps. Thank you. Any requests? Okay. Tough crowd. You knew that was coming. Si tu savais comment je t'aime, toi aussi tu dois m'aimer. Si tu savais comment je t'aime, toi aussi tu dois m'aimer. Serre-moi dans tes bras, je chanterai pour toi. Serre-moi dans tes bras, je chanterai pour toi. Si tu savais comment je t'aime, toi aussi tu dois m'aimer. Serre-moi dans tes bras, je chanterai pour toi. Je chanterai pour toi. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Canada. So I played that song at the beginning of the set, End of the World, and now I'm going to play. And I mentioned that my new album starts with the end of the world and ends with a yard sale. So this is the other end of the album. It's called Maybe When I'm Older. Maybe when I'm older, I'll have a faster capo. Maybe when I'm 20, I will have an adventure. I'll go somewhere far, far away. I'll see a lot of stuff, I'll learn a lot of things. I'll form opinions, I'll have something to say. I'll pick up a few words in a different tongue, get some really weird job in another town. Like pad thai vendor, ox cart driver, Mexican rodeo clown. Maybe when I'm older, oh, hey, hey, hey. Maybe when I'm 30, I will fall in love. Maybe we will make us some babies. And when they go to school, I'll pack their lunches. I'll make them all colorful and crazy. A succession of bicycles and learning to read early and shorter sleeps on soccer days. And can you take them? Can you? Okay, okay, okay. Maybe when I'm older, oh, hey, hey, hey. Maybe when I'm older, Maybe when I'm 40, I'll read up on some things I've been meaning to try, like rooftop gardening or how to win at relationships. Maybe my wife leaves me by and by. I will have the kids on all the weekends. It'll just be me and them. And they can have their rooms painted any way they like, and maybe they won't hate my girlfriend. Or maybe when I'm older, hey, hey, hey. maybe when I'm older. Mm, mm. Maybe when I'm 50 I'll start to figure out what really matters. Start a second family, become a Hare Krishna, make IKEA art out of paint splatters. Maybe I'll win the lottery and foment revolution, help refugees from the Middle East. Let's pay back all the debts I was never able to. Maybe then I will find some peace. Or maybe when I'm older, oh, hey, hey, hey. Maybe when I'm older, maybe when I'm 60 I'll look up all the old friends I wronged or let down. I'll take them for drinks, I'll apologize with tears, I'll show them the whole town. I will say my words, I will bare my soul. Maybe they won't mind what I have to say. Maybe they will tell me how I really hurt them, or maybe they'll just go, it's okay. Or maybe when I'm older, hey, hey, hey. Maybe when I'm older, and if I make it to 70 by some miracle of science, I'll take back the wasted years of saying the wrong stuff and doing all the wrong things. I'll take back all the old girlfriend tears. When I hit 80, I'm gonna learn to dance and maybe finally write that song, the one that says everything I ever wanted to, with a chorus that's 80 years strong. Or maybe when I'm older, hey, hey, hey. Maybe when I'm older, maybe when I'm 90, I will not write songs. I'll have a yard sale till everything is gone. Thank you. I had written that song. Oh, hi, Joyce. I had written that song up to the end of the 80 verse, and there was just something missing. And this old guy was, he had invited people to his house to take his deceased wife's art supplies. And so I was in his garage, and I was rifling through canvases and brushes and stuff. And at one point he walked past me and he said, "I'm in my 90s, not long for this world." And I was like, that's it. That's my last verse. So that was for him. Hi, Joyce. Thank you for tuning in. Joyce and Herb. This next song is called "The Boy Who Walked Backwards Through the Snow." I play this at every show pretty much. This is the true story, a true story told to me by my good friend Janet Day Sagasage about her father. He was taken away to residential school when he was a young boy, maybe 5 or 6 years old. And all the kids were brought home at the Christmas break. And he decided there was no way when they came back that he was going to go back with them and go back to that school. And the day they were coming to collect all the kids at the end of the Christmas break, there was fresh snow on the ground. He got up really early, and he walked out of his house, and he turned to face the house. And the story goes is that he walked backwards into the bush, and he waited inside the forest. And when they got to his house to find him, to take him back to the school, so the only tracks they saw were coming out of the forest. So they never looked in the forest, and he stayed as quiet as could be. And they never looked in the forest, and he was quiet. And so eventually they gave up and they left, and he never went back to residential school. So that's the story. And in that one moment of bravery, He saved his culture. He saved his language. His children speak their language. His grandchildren, his great-grandchildren. Anyway, that's the whole story. We can go to the next song. No, this is called The Boy Who Walked Backwards Through the Snow. This song was included on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. When it was going, they made a compilation CD. And I talked to the guy who produced the CD, various artists singing various songs on the theme of residential school. He said, yeah, Ben, we liked your song. It was more cheerful than some of the others. Anyway, this is called The Boy Who Walked Backwards Through the Snow. I'm the last full blood from Serpent River. That's what he told his daughter on the day that he died. He kept asking about a moose and crossing some great water. She did not know what he meant, right to the last instant that her fingers closed his eyes. The last full blood from Serpent River, the boy who fooled the nuns and didn't show. Last of a kind, there'll be none left behind. The boy who walked backwards through the snow. As a child they dragged him off to residential school, where they cut his hair and told him what language to speak. He and his buddies would form secret huddles, whisper the words of their mother tongue. Be damned if the sisters come, be damned if they didn't speak. The last full blood from Serpent River, the boy who fooled the nuns and did not show. The last of a kind, there will be none left behind. The boy who walked backwards through the snow. Ho, ho. The boy who walked backwards through the snow. They let him home for the holidays. He swore to not return to the school in English syllables. Killer of individuals, short haircuts for Indians, not the man on the cross. So he walked backwards through the snow, hid inside the tree line when the sisters came collecting. They were so unsuspecting. He was there, but he didn't show. The last full blood from Serpent River, the boy who fooled the nuns and did not show. The last of a kind, there will be none left behind. The boy who walked backwards through the snow. Ho, ho. The boy who walked backwards through the snow. That boy is an old man, lying on his deathbed, speaking in a tongue the nuns would never understand. I'm the last full blood from Serpent River. That's what he told his daughter on the day that he died. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to do a couple more songs. Does that work for everybody? This is called Father's Shoes. I wrote this a couple of years after my dad passed away. This is also going to be on my new album. Shauna says I'm grumpy since my father passed. Going on 2 years, I have not shown a lot of class. Hero in a heartbreak, he never stood still. He left neon green and blue shoes no one could fill. He He liked spy novels, Chinese food. His hands turned to clay. He had a tough love kind of brute. Careful with his words, sparing if at all. Only what you needed to hear so you wouldn't fall. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. He does not need them now, and they could find some good use through a funny combination of neon green and blues. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. I don't know when he wore them, maybe on his walk every night with little moonshine up and down the block. He fed her pretty well, leftovers gourmet-fied. He was pretty sad when that little shih tzu died. I'd follow him around the grocery like all the times before, feeling like a kid, a little embarrassed in the store. He'd ask anything you want, I was too shy to say. For 50 years it was that way. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. He does not need them now, and they could find some good use through a funny combination of neon green and blues. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. Well, I went by the house to see what was left. His wife said, take the shoes out on the deck. Oh, they'll just get donated. They're practically new. It's what your father would want, and they fit you. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. He does not need them now, and they could find some good use through a funny combination of neon green and blues. Maybe I will paint in my father's. Maybe I will paint in my father's. Maybe I will paint in my father's shoes. Thank you. Thank you, Tim, for the awesome sound. Tim Cadillac. Thank you, Georgia, for handling the onslaught of customers and for being here. Thank you, John, wherever you are. I'm going to end up with a song called "I Could Be Your Man." It's a sing-along. If you want to sing along at home, the sing-along part is, and I could be your man, I could be your man, I could be your man, you can have me, yes you can. Okay, you'll know it when it happens. Thank you for listening. My new album's coming out in January. I'm a hopeless hand, I'm Benny the Jew, the boy in the bubble, little Charlie Trouble. I'm a fish cutter and a butcher boy, I'm a troubadour with a pompadour. And I could be your man, I could be your man, I could be your man, you can have me, yes you can. What do you want to know? I'm a doctor of love and a singer of song, I'm an agitator and a revelator. I have a magic hands and a gentle touch, I can toss a salad, my credentials are valid. And I could be your man, I could be your man, I could be your man, you can have me, yes you can. What do you want to know? no Schwarzenegger with a calculator, no relationship, Terminator. I'm a rolling pin and a mixing bowl. I'm like Darth Vader with a carburetor. And I could be your man, I could be your man, I could be your man. You can have me, yes you can. Said I could be your man, I could be your man, I could be your man, I could be your man. He could be your man, he could be your man, he could be your man, he could be your man. Thank you very much. Thank you.